Ayo. Hopefully this is live. Ayo. Alright, it seems like we have audio. This horrible laptop audio because I don't have a microphone with me. Well, I do, but I haven't figured out how to stream with the GoPro and have it do audio. It only does video, so I could be streaming on that, but there wouldn't be any audio to it, unfortunately. But yeah, I just got back from a Konbini run, so I'm gonna try some snacks. I got a bunch of various snacks to try and some more drinks to try. Got some sandwiches for tonight because I don't know if I'm. It's been a very rainy and wet day here, so don't really feel like walking too far to go get some dinner tonight. So we just got some sandwiches, tuna and egg, as well as a Japanese omelet, and we also have chicken egg with teriyaki sauce. This is amazing. If you're ever here, try to find this. They sell out pretty fast. I was a little amazed I was able to find it, but it's amazing. Then we have ham cutlet cabbage and sauce, which is another one that's pretty good. We also got some random snacks to try. Some sweets as well. Gotta have that sweet tooth. We got melon pond sticks with chocolate chips, as well as a couple of squid dishes. We have spicy fried squid. That should be delicious with my alcoholic beverages that I have, and smoked squid to go with it as well. So yeah, we stocked up on some Konbini food. As far as new alcoholic beverages, we got a few. We have a strong dry 9% alcohol, which is quite a bit for like a beer or a lager. Zero sour. So what is it? We got like 0 calories or something, or 0 carbs, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, we have that. This is a Matsuri? Jasmine chochu, jasmine tea, Osaki. I just got it because I like the can, but that should be pretty good as well. I got this. This looked really cool. Plus, it's a new thing. So everything that says new on it, I've been buying basically. Haven't been able to find Caprisu. It's an alcoholic beverage. I found one at one of the stores. They used to be able to find them more often, but I haven't been seeing them. I don't know if they're discontinuing them or what's going on with that. The one that I did find was actually in Kawaguchiko. While I was there, I picked one up. Horoyoi. I don't know. It's another Suntory drink. Shiroi Sawa. So white sour. But yeah, we have this 3% alcohol, so that's not a lot, but we'll offset it with this 9% alcohol drink here. But I am quite hungry, honestly. I haven't had anything since breakfast, and it is almost 6 o'clock at night, so we're gonna try to down some of these sandwiches and start opening some of these drinks. Decide if I really want to brave getting out in the rain tonight to actually go out and do anything. I was planning to take the day completely off, but I've left the hotel twice today already. And haven't gone too far. Haven't gone more than like a mile away from the hotel. Went out to Asakusa area. In this recent time that I went out, I just went down to the couple of Konbini. Went to the Lawson that's like really close, and they had already been picked clean basically. So I went to a 7-Eleven, like a bigger 7-Eleven, and they had quite a bit more to choose from for food and sandwiches. So because I wanted some sandwiches with meat, and all they had was like they had this omelet, and they had tuna and egg. They had quite a few of those. I think this has wasabi on it. I'm not a huge fan of wasabi, but it tastes like it has wasabi. But it'll be fun. Which drink do I want to open first? I still have one more drink left as well. I'm gonna have to see where I think they have microwaves here, but it's like a public one. They're not in the rooms. I'll need to see if I can find one of those. I'd like to try some of the instant ramen here. I've never actually had instant ramen in Japan, so I'd like to try some of that if they have some way for me to get hot water here. We have this one as well. I'm gonna open these squid snacks soon. I really want to try them. I like squid quite a bit, so I should like these pretty well. Let's try this, the white sour or whatever it is. Let me try the white sour here. Is she really sour? Sawa. Well, that one's actually very pleasant. Put one of these out to try. It smells pretty good. Very stringy. It's not the best squid I've ever had. It's not horrible either, honestly. A little bit of a bitter taste. I've never actually had melon pan with like chocolate chips, so this is strange. I think it's more of like a kid's snack instead of just your regular pans. But I got it. I wanted to try it. Let's see about this spicy fried squid. See if it's any good. Oh, thanks. I'm quite hungry. Today hasn't been very productive or fun. It's been storming all day. We had like a gale advisory. It's been pretty windy and it's just rained all day. So I haven't gone too far out today, but the previous days have all been pretty nice. So I've gone out and done quite a bit this trip. I'm planning, might be doing the next trip in August. Originally, I was going to wait until winter, but I'm like pricing the trip for August, and it's honestly not that expensive, so I might actually come back to Japan in August if I can save up enough to come in time. Because I have friends that come up from like Fukuoka and stuff, like artist friends. I haven't seen them in like years because they just come up to Kamiki. So I would like to come up and see them. They're not sure if they're gonna come up to winter Kamiki yet, so I would like to come to the summer Kamiki if I can get the chance. Hopefully it's not too spicy. I don't know, it says it's spicy, but it's got like no heat to it at all. Still good though. Let's try to mix some of this. Weak drink with the strong drink. Yeah, Japan's actually changed a whole lot. Um, it's very different here compared to pre-pandemic. Um, I went to Shibuya for the first time yesterday. Well, not yesterday, but maybe 2 or 3 days ago at this point, and it's just overrun with foreigners now. There's so many foreigners here. A lot of the stores aren't around anymore. A lot of the attractions are not around anymore. The vibe is a little different here. It's really hard to explain how different Japan is, but compared to pre-pandemic, the last time that I came here was 2019, and I was gonna go in uh, spring of 2020, but that's whenever they closed down the borders. So I wasn't able to come then. And then I didn't end up getting to visit Japan again until fall of 2023. And by that point, Japan had changed quite a bit. But yeah, Japan's very different now. It's unfortunate that a lot of people will never get to see Japan the way it was before pandemic and everything that was here, like the vibe. But yeah, it's definitely different now in a lot of ways. Yeah, uh, I don't go to the heavy tourist spots that much. I've gone to Akihabara. Well, I've walked through it like on the outskirts a couple times, but I've only actually like went shopping there once while I've been here. There's quite a few foreigners, but Shibuya was really bad. There was a whole lot of foreigners there. It was like more foreigners than Japanese. It felt like, and it was all like rude and talking on the trains and stuff. So that's very disappointing. I usually hang out in the areas where there's not as many foreigners. Like I'll go and hang out in like Ikebukuro and Nagano. Even Shinjuku didn't have as many foreigners. It was just Shibuya. Shibuya was definitely the worst as far as this trip is concerned. Definitely a lot of foreigners in Shibuya. I don't know about the Tokyo Dome area or anything yet. I haven't been up that way this trip. In Kawaguchiko, there was a lot of foreigners there. A whole lot of foreigners there taking pictures. Well, this strong dry isn't very good. I don't know what it's got zero of. Purine home? Not sure. I'm excited to come back though. I have like 4 days left in this trip, 5 days left being here. It has 0% taste. Yeah, honestly, it really doesn't have any taste. It just almost tastes like carbonated water with alcohol in it, so it kind of just tastes like alcohol. It's kind of got a bad taste like moonshine if you've ever had just regular unflavored moonshine. It's a little similar to that, but not too much. Yeah, it says zero sour. I don't know what that means. I would assume like zero sour, like a sour is a type of alcoholic beverage, like your gin sours, whiskey sours, and stuff. But I don't know if that's what it's relating to. Um, Japan is strange. Like this is a sour as well. It's a shiroi sour. It says shiroi sour on it, and it's actually really good. Horoyoi. This omelet sandwich is pretty good though. I don't think I've ever had an omelet sandwich. I want to go and get some more omurice while I'm here. I went and got some omurice in Ikebukuro. That might be what they mean by sour. Um, I don't have it in here with me, but I had a gin sour yesterday, and I had a whiskey sour a couple days ago. But this is a sour, but it doesn't taste anything like a sour. So I don't know if a zero sour, I don't know what that means. Or konpu. Yeah, I have no idea. It doesn't taste very good though, so I wouldn't recommend it. I want to do some more shopping while I'm here this time. Can't buy too much more though. Um, a couple of reasons for that. One, luggage space. Two, it's not going to do me much good to be expanding my collection vastly, considering I'm probably going to move here and I'll be leaving like my entire collection back at home. I've been considering recently starting to sell off quite a bit of my collection as far as like video games and consoles because I don't really play video games anymore. I'm still going to keep my manga and anime for now, but might downscale the game collection and maybe the anime figure collection too. Because I'll be moving here to Japan in hopefully 3 years. It might actually be 4 years. Depends on how long it takes me to get a job. Yeah, you can send it through Japan Post. Um, I just don't trust the post office as much. And if I were to buy enough stuff to do that, I would. But yeah. Yeah, right now the plan is after I graduate college, I'm going to come and live in Japan for a year to test out. I want to see how well I like it, make sure it's what I want to do, and then I'll work on staying here for 5 years. That way I can become a resident here. You have to work here for like 5 years to get like a visa and become a resident, or you can get married, whichever one comes first. Try some more of this squid. Let's see if it can taste any better. This doesn't have a lot of flavor and it's definitely not spicy. It says spicy. And usually with Japanese food, whenever it says spicy, it means spicy, but nah, this isn't spicy. The hotels, um, for 3 of my trips, I've stayed in Appa hotels, and they're like known for like being just the bare minimum basic. Like the room is maybe like 12 feet deep and like maybe 10 feet across. So it's a pretty small room. The beds are tiny. The the restroom is tiny. You can get like nice hotels if you want, but they cost more. My flight and hotel for this trip was 2,500, 2,600, something like that for 12 days. So not too bad. I don't think it's really that much more expensive, especially with exchange rates right now, because the yen is very weak. The first trip that I made to Japan back in 2018, that's probably still the most expensive flight and hotel bundle that I've bought out of all of my trips. It was like $2,700, I think. But usually I try to stay around the 25 to 3 grand mark. Yeah, I've hit the ATMs a couple times since I've been here. The exchange rate was like 148 yen to $1 whenever I went. Yeah, I haven't watched the TV yet though. Um, I haven't spent a whole lot of time in the room other than today, and um, the time I've spent on the room today, I've actually just well, I napped for a while whenever I got back the first time, and I've just been watching stuff on my computer. I put my computer by my bed and watch YouTube. Could try to get on Crunchyroll and catch up on some anime that I'm behind on. I'm like 2-3 weeks behind on the seasonal stuff this year. I don't know about that over here. Unless you're like talking about like online with like Ami Ami or something. But for like buying figures, the only place that I've really been buying figures since Right Stuff got absorbed by Crunchyroll is Big Bad Toy Store. That's the only store that I've been using online to buy figures. But yeah, Ami Ami is good. You can buy it directly from like I think you can buy it directly from Mega House and of course Good Smile as well. Um, Ami Ami, whenever I used to buy from them, they would charge you in yen, I believe, but I haven't bought from them in uh, quite a few years. Probably since 2013, 2014 was the last time I bought from Ami Ami. I haven't looked at the figures much since I've been here. I haven't actually gone to like the shopping districts. Went to Ikebukuro, did quite a bit of shopping there, but I've mainly been going to like attractions and stuff. The Bleach event down in Yokohama, the Lotus of Brave. I went to that event. Bought a bunch of items there. I went to the Conan event in Ikebukuro for the new movie that's out at the moment. Um, there's also a Sergeant Frog thing that's going on with like I think a cafe that was in Ikebukuro as well. I haven't went to it yet, but I might try to go to that if I can get a chance. I need to see if they have anything going on at the Shibuya Anime Center. They have events there pretty often. I went to the Rent a Girlfriend event there last year, so maybe they have something going on. Yeah, well, they had a Bleach themed cafe too. I didn't actually go to it because I wasn't sure if I needed to buy tickets in advance, and I couldn't read the sign fully outside, and I didn't want to ask about it or anything because very few people here speak English. So yeah, but yeah, they have there's some more expos coming up. I saw recently there's a Soul Eater art exhibit that's going to be going on. When is it? It's like August to September, and then it's also like October till November or something. No, I've actually never been to the cinema. I'm actually trying to get you to go with me to watch the Conan movie if they can make time. I'd like to go and watch it, though. Um, Conan would be pretty hard to watch for me currently. My Japanese is really only good enough to really understand like slice of life, rom coms, stuff like that. Basic everyday Japanese. Whenever it goes into like deep topics, it's pretty hard for me to do and watch without like English subtitles. Yeah, I might actually make it back in time to go to the Soul Eater one. I'm not sure. Um, like I said, I was planning to come back. I'm going to come back either in December or January, but I'm also considering if I can have the funds available to come back in August. And basically, the only time I can come to Japan is like in between college semesters, so that limits whenever I can actually plan my trips here. I wish it was like a Fire Force like exhibit too. Like I like Soul Eater quite a bit, but honestly, I think I like Fire Force a little more than Soul Eater. Aesthetically, like Soul Eater is probably better, but story wise and character wise, I really like Fire Force. I forget when the like new anime for it's coming out. I think they announced a season 3. Yeah, I'm a little sad he decided to retire from doing manga. Like after Fire Force, he said that he was done. So hopefully he sticks with it and enjoys his retirement. But I'd also love for him to actually come back. Yeah, I thought that was really cool too. How it turned out that Fire Force was like a prequel to Soul Eater. It was actually really cool. He also has that other older manga, Boichi. I've never actually read it. It's only like 4 volumes. I've seen some JoJo Land volumes since I've been here this time. I haven't really seen anyone talk online about JoJo Lands, so I don't know if it's like been really good or not. Used to see people talk about JoJo. It was actually pretty popular to talk about online and in the community, but I haven't seen anyone really talk about JoJo Lands. It's like the first couple of chapters people was talking about because it was a new JoJo's arc, and it's probably going to be the final arc if Araki lives long enough to finish it. But yeah, I haven't seen anyone really talking about it. I've never actually, I've never heard of the manga Kachiakuta. Never heard of that. Um, but I don't keep up with anime and manga nearly as much as I used to. I don't really have time for it. I haven't had a lot of time to read a lot of the manga that I've already bought, so it's hard for me to branch out and find new stuff. I'm not even able to keep up with One Piece, and it like goes on hiatus, like little breaks, at least like once a month. Though Egghead and One Piece, it's actually been really good. I think it's probably, I want to say for sure, it's probably top three One Piece arcs. I want to say. So graffiti inspired. I've seen some manga like that where it takes inspiration from like street culture and stuff, like air gear and stuff. Yeah. Recent anime that I've been watching that I've really enjoyed is Windbreaker, um, because it's like a delinquent anime and we don't get those as much anymore. It feels like we used to get them more often. There's some really good delinquent anime and manga out there, so I'm excited to see it. Even though it's just so far, I'm on what, like episode 3 or 4. The last episode I watched was before I came here, and I haven't watched any since I've been here. Yeah, I'm actually considering buying the Windbreaker manga while I'm here. Um, I've been trying to find if they have any like bundles at like Mandarake or something. That way I can just get like caught up with it in one go. Or I might try Ikebukuro. The book off there has a pretty big selection of like 100 yen mangas, so I might try to pick up some that way. I've been enjoying it so far. Like, it's not great, it's not the best. I probably like season 1 of Tokyo Revengers more, even though Tokyo Revengers is honestly kind of slow at times, or at least the anime version, because it has those long recaps every episode. Well, JoJo was actually monthly as well. It was monthly from like 2012, 2013 is when JoJo started, and it only fairly recently ended. It lasted like 10 years or something. And people used to talk about it quite a bit. I'd see it come up in my feed every so often, but outside of the first couple of chapters of JoJo Land, I haven't seen anyone talk about it. I know from like chapter 1, it didn't pique my interest that much. It just didn't. It didn't. How do I explain it? It didn't appeal to me too much. It didn't feel a lot like JoJo's. So yeah. But Araki's been drawing JoJo's and all the spin-offs and stuff since 1986, 87, something like that. Yeah, TikTok and Shorts. I don't actually have TikTok. I've never been on TikTok. Um, but Shorts, yeah, Shorts are pretty addicting. I try to keep myself from watching those. Most of the time on YouTube, I watch long form content, videos that are at least like 10 minutes. But I really like the YouTube videos that are an hour or two long, like retrospectives and breakdowns and deep dives, stuff like that. That's what I watch a lot because I put it on in the background while I'm like working or drawing and or studying or just like cleaning up the house. I'll put on my headphones. How do I add emojis? I don't know how to add those, so I'll just put hi. Yeah, it's unfortunately some mangaka have died recently. One mangaka that no one's talked about that died, but the creator of Go 13 died 2022, 2023, and it was just overshadowed by uh, it was overshadowed by Kentaro Miura dying, of course, Toriyama dying. There was another one that passed away, and it's like I've seen tributes to like all three of like those, but no one's been mentioning that the creator of Go 13 died. No one's like mentioned him, but Go 13 it got canceled at like volume 12 or 13 over in the States, and it never caught on there. But it's I believe it's overtaken Kochikami as the longest running manga in history. Because Go 13, even after the creator died, like his studio is continuing on with Go 13 the same way that Kentaro Miura's studio is continuing on with Berserk. Yeah, it was sad when Toriyama died. That it was so sudden, and somehow like his family and relatives like keep it under wraps because he died like March 3rd or something, and it was like 2 weeks before the announcement came. So it's like we didn't even know until like a week or two, like almost 2 weeks after he had died. We didn't even know. So, but that's the way like Japanese people are. They're really secretive about their personal lives. Or like the author of what was his name? Daisuke Sato. Yeah, he's the one that died. The author, well, the writer of High School of the Dead. That one was pretty sad for me because I really like High School of the Dead, and Soji Sato has already said that he's not going to continue it. Uh, I've actually met Soji Sato. I bought some dojinshi from him back in 2019. I met him at Kamikit. He's the artist of High School of the Dead and Tri-X. Never had this one before, so we're gonna. It's another sour. Why are all of these sours? It says sour on it in Japanese. It says sour in katakana. Well, that is a very unique taste. I have no idea what that is, but that is something. Very wild sake this. Some type of sour. I don't know if I can respond to those directly. Yeah, I don't know if I can. Yeah, I'll probably just leave that as is. I am looking forward to moving here though. Not really sure how difficult that's going to be. Yeah, it's really sad that, what was it? It's like Yen Plus. What was like their online reading service for like Yen Press? Like we had that next chapter that never got put into the Tankobon volumes come out, and they had that online reading service for Yen Plus. It's like we never got anything else after that. It's like chapter 31 or 32, something like that. Yeah, there's quite a few manga that I'm concerned about. Like they may never finish. D Gray Man is another one. It feels like D Gray Man ended like 10 years ago, but it's still ongoing occasionally, kind of. Um, because it's like volume 20 something came out when I first got into like reading manga back in 2006. I think it was already in the 20s, maybe in the late teens. But we rarely get anything from D Gray Man. That's one that I'm concerned about that may never finish. Um, there are some manga that are really surprising that I thought was never going to end that ended up coming back and are ongoing now, like Beat the Vondel Buster. That one was on hiatus for like 15 years or something. Yeah, Gangsta, that concerns me. Hunter x Hunter, I have zero faith in that one finishing. Black Lagoon, I don't know how he finishes that. I've I've met the creator of Black Lagoon, Ray Hiroe. He goes to Kamikid quite a bit, but I don't know how you end Black Lagoon. It's one of those where unless they like fake their death and try to build a new life in another country or something, it's like I don't see how Black Lagoon has a happy ending. I could honestly see everyone dying or pretty much everyone dying in Black Lagoon. So I don't know how that ends. D Gray Man, we know how that's going to end basically. The Millennium Earl is going to get killed off eventually somehow. Yeah, I could see depression being a reason. I follow him on Twitter, but I don't follow him that closely to what he posts and stuff. But yeah, with Black Lagoon, I just don't see how he ends that and it be a good ending. Like the line of work they're in, like mercenary type work, there's no way for that. They're either going to continue on with missions until they all die, or they're going to have to like fake their death and like build a new life in another country or something. Gangsta though, I'd really love for that one to actually end, but it's another one of those where I'm not sure if it would have a happy ending. Yeah, that's kind of been the thing with Black Lagoon. Like you had like the twins, like their arc was pretty sad. It seemed like they was gonna make it out, but they never did. Yeah, something similar. Well, not that type of disease, but um, the woman that does D Gray Man, she had like health issues as well. And the woman that done Nana as well, she had some like health issues, and I believe she's been recovered from it for a very long time, but she's never got around to continuing on with the Nana, as far as I know. Japan's equivalent of Patreon. Well, that could be a few things. That could be like Fanbox or uh, some of the other sites. Yeah, Nana's probably never ending. I think I have like through volume 19 or 20 of the manga, like in Japanese, and I don't think it's ever going to finish. What is it? Is Skip Beat still ongoing? I haven't caught up with that in a very long time, like 10, 15 years. Um, but it was just one of those like shojos that I really enjoyed. And it was a very long shojo. Shojo, it's one of those, you don't see a lot of very long running shojo series. So Skip Beat is definitely an outlier for that. I saw that season three of yeah, I think it was season three on Netflix of Kimi ni Todoki was announced. Yeah, there's like I've been to some skate parks here, and like none of them are good. Not in Tokyo anyway. Maybe outside of Tokyo, but as far as in Tokyo, I haven't found anything. There's a couple of indoor parks kind of on the way out of Tokyo that I haven't been to. But as far as like the public parks and the ones like in the city of Tokyo, I haven't really found any that are good. There's one on a rooftop in Shibuya that's basically just a snake way, and it looks pretty bad. There's also the one down in Odaiba on the rooftop by the Gundam statue. It's not great either. Well, if she's on Skeb, you could probably get a commission from her because all the artists that I know on Skeb, you can like commission. Because my Japanese artist friends, they're on Skeb as well. Booth, Fanbox, Melon Books, Toranora, all of those things. That's another thing that changed. Basically, all the Toranoras, Toranoanas, Toranoanas. I forget the name of the store, but like all of those like closed down in Akihabara. I believe all three of them are gone now. Hmm. But it used to be a good place to shop before it was gone. I think the Ami Ami is still in Akihabara. It's literally like half a mile down the road, less than half a mile. I am from Akihabara and haven't had too much desire to go and spend a lot of time in Akihabara. Whenever I've gone to Akihabara in the past, and even this trip, I don't find a whole lot there. I guess because there's so many foreigners there that Akihabara gets picked clean pretty fast. I did go to a new place recently. I've been to the Super Potato in Akihabara quite a few times, but I never actually went to the one in, I think it was Shinjuku. It's on like on a back alley and like on the third or fourth floor. But I went to a Super Potato down there, and it was so small. Like the store was so small. It was so crowded and barely able to walk through it. Um, there's like rooms in my house bigger than that store was. Yeah, it might just be sketches. I support some artists on Fanbox, and it's pretty interesting to see what they post. Most of the artists I support don't post there that often, though, so it's kind of a waste of money. Yeah, I actually, speaking of Your Name, I went back to the Your Name stairs last week, last Wednesday or Thursday, I think is when I went there. I was going with the intention of finally getting a Goshuin from the shrine at the top of the stairs, but they wasn't open at the time, so I need to get back out there. Yeah, as far as like the Ghibli films, at least in the States anyway, throughout like all of this year, they're like re-showing like Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, uh, what's some more? Kiki's Delivery Service. They're like re-showing all the Ghibli films. Yeah, I've been to the in real life anime locations. The Your Name Stairs, the Steins Gate Radio Rikon building. Of course, the famous place, well, it's not around anymore. That's another thing that's different post pandemic. They actually tore down and got rid of the old the train station in Harajuku. It was like really popular and famous. It's been in the background of a lot of anime, but the old train station in Harajuku isn't there anymore. Yeah, it definitely feels different, like 80s anime, 90s anime. It feels softer, it feels more warm as far as the aesthetic for the anime. Anime from back then feels warmer to me because it's all like hand drawn cells and stuff. The early 2000s anime also has a unique feel. It's more sleek, it's more uh, got a harsher feel, but even it feels different than anime now. Like early 2000s anime, I've been nostalgic for quite a bit, like the designs and the way it was animated, because it was right in that period where studios was beginning the transition from pencil and paper and cells into mostly doing digital. So yeah, you can break down the anime from different time periods. Every like 10 to 20 years, it feels a little different. Uh, Anime now, like a lot of anime now, feels kind of like the way. Uh, Dang, what's the name of the studio? Can't remember. Yeah, it definitely happened pretty fast. We're also going to start seeing a lot more. Some of the studios are already doing it, but they're doing like AI backgrounds and stuff. So we're going to start seeing that a lot more. So we're in another transitional period now in the 2020s. So probably in the next 5 years or so, we're going to see a pretty big change for like the design of anime, and it might be even more streamlined because they're already using AI for backgrounds, and they might actually start using AI for in between shots and stuff. So there's probably going to be less animators out there. No, it wasn't Mappa. It's the studio that did K-On!, uh, the one that the artisan is burned down. Um, but like their earlier anime, we're seeing a lot more anime now that looks similar as far as how fluid the animation looks. Yeah, Kyoto Animation, KyoAni. Yeah, that's the one. We're seeing a lot more studios look similar to the way KyoAni used to look back in the day, with it having the softer feel, more fluid animation. Whereas KyoAni was like one of the only studios back then that was like known for that and being fluid and soft looking. Yeah, Fire Force when needed. I would hate to be doing the animation for Fire Force because Fire is very annoying to animate. Honestly, I like Haruhi pretty well, but I don't get the reason why it was as popular as it was. It's definitely not my favorite KyoAni studio. I like K-On! Quite a bit. Yeah, Cowboy Bebop looked really good. I also liked Outlaw Star at the time. going back that far. But Akira, I know it's very revered and stuff, and a lot of people like it, but I'm not the biggest fan of Akira. I've watched it 2 or 3 times. I watched it years ago, and then I waited a time, and I don't know, the whole cyberpunk thing and the way that looks, sci-fi and stuff, it doesn't appeal to me that much. Like I said, I'm more of a fan of rom-coms and slice of life. That's the type of like anime and manga I like the most. Pinocchio. Yeah, like Pinocchio was, it's insanely well animated. Like before Disney made the transition into like 3D, they had basically perfected um, 2D animation, and Pinocchio looked really good, especially with Pinocchio's like transition scene into the donkey whenever he transforms. That's still really, really good. Well, even like even Snow White, it still holds up pretty well, and it's like the first ever full length feature like Disney animated film. Even Snow White really holds up pretty well, I think. But a lot of the time, for like the older Disney films, they actually just traced over like real life footage for like some of the animation scenes. That's why you see some recycled animation, like recycled animations, like Jungle Book, Alice in Wonderland. They have like scenes where it's like uh, you can see the reference for it where they just traced over and used the same scenes. Oh, that's not good. I was hoping that would be better. It's jasmine tea. It's definitely it's not very good. Yeah, I had to make. I was in the period where I was making it up as they went. Even like older stuff. Um, Felix the Cat and Looney Tunes, all of that holds up really, really well. Like surprisingly well, going back and rewatching stuff that old. Like it almost puts modern, especially like Western animation cartoons and stuff. Like you have the like Cal Arts style of animation that's basically taken over most of the animation in the West. Even SpongeBob looks very different now. It almost looks Cal Arts in a way, like Steven Universe, Teen Titans Go. What's that? Uh, says the animated films. Yeah, the Tom and Jerry films are good. Whenever I first saw that you put Tom and Jerry, I instantly thought of like the half live action, half animated Tom and Jerry film that came out. It came out during the pandemic. I went and watched it in theater, and it wasn't very good. The animation parts were kind of decent, but the film itself was not good. So I wouldn't recommend watching that if you haven't ever seen it. An anime film that I did see recently that disappointed me a little bit in the way it looked was the Spy Family film. I watched it in theater, and I don't know. Like there are times when Spy Family looks really good, but there's a lot of the times where it doesn't look that great. Yeah, indie animation like on YouTube has been kicking off pretty well for quite a few years now. I used to like Hell of a Balls quite a bit, but then Vizzy Pop kind of, you find out like how bad of a person she actually is and the way she treats people. So that took away a little bit. I was amazed she was actually able to get the voice actor for Invader Zim for Hell of a Boss. That was pretty cool. Like Vizzy Pop, she has really good ideas. She's just pretty bad about fleshing them out. She seems like she has a short attention span and just wants to jump from one thing to the next instead of working on making a grander scheme and cohesive story that comes together. Yeah, and the animation's doing pretty well. Yeah, I don't know who Rich Hovitz is. I'm pretty behind on Hell of a Boss, though. A little behind on it. I tried watching Has Been Hotel, and it just wasn't for me. It wasn't as fun as Hell of a Boss, but I did like Hell of a Boss, at least for a while. Oh, yeah. Well, that explains it. Like he's an industry guy. He's been around a long time, so he does Billy stuff like that. Oh, at least it's better than what like Butch Hartman has been doing. Um, I guess he fell off really hard. Uh, I watched Saber Sparks' recent video on him just to try to see. I used to watch Butch Hartman's like videos on YouTube whenever he like first started YouTube because it's like really interesting, and then it got pretty boring relatively fast, so I stopped watching and haven't kept up with his YouTube channel or anything. And then he had that whole Oasis ordeal, and that put off a lot of people. Butch Hartman's a very interesting guy. He's very strange. I think I don't know how he had so many hit shows that was like really good. I think he had some people around him that was helping him with ideas. Kind of like George Lucas is a really good idea guy, but he has to have people around him to rein in his ideas. Otherwise, he goes off the rails. I think Butch Hartman's kind of the same way. I keep hoping we're gonna get a return of Teen Titans. I would love for it to continue before the voice actors get too much older. Yeah, like uh, pretty much everyone for like Western animation for cartoons back in the 90s and early 2000s are like gone. I was amazing, like Danny Antonucci, the guy that created Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Like, I haven't seen anything from him. Like, he's originally from like adult animation and stuff, and then he did Ed, Ed, and Eddie on like a bet because someone bet him to do like a kids show, and turned out to be like one of the best cartoons of the 90s. But I don't think he's done anything since. Maybe he made enough money to retire. I don't know. I'd love for Ed and Eddie to come back, but kind of ended on a good note with the Big Picture show. That was a pretty good send off, even though we never got to see what's under Double D's hat. He always said if we got a feature, we would see what's under Double D's hat, and we never got to see. Though in one of the games, was it Jawbreakers on the Advance or Scam of the Century on DS, we actually got to see under his hat. I never liked Teen Titans Go. It was such a disappointment. Um, if they was going to continue Teen Titans based off of the popularity of Teen Titans Go, they would have already done it. But right now, like Cartoon Network is almost exclusively like Teen Titans Go reruns. They don't have anything else. Cartoon Network's basically dying now. Yeah, Warner Brothers in general is doing very, very bad. They had all those DC movie flops, and Cartoon Network's been doing bad. Yeah, it's going to be sad to see Cartoon Network go because that was my preferred Cartoon Network was my preferred like cartoon place to watch. They had more of the best shows. Whereas SpongeBob was probably like number one or number two. Ed, and Eddie and SpongeBob, like early SpongeBob anyway, they was definitely really high up there as far as number one or number two. But yeah, Cartoon Network had more shows that I liked, whereas Nickelodeon only really had it had Rugrats, Hey Arnold, and later series would be like SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents. Yeah, I hope the what is it the federal I hope the United States steps in and stops Sony from buying everything because they have a monopoly on anime right now. They've been buying up everything, and that's not good. That's not good at all. Especially the way they've been doing with like video games recently, and they're buying up basically in the entire Western anime market. They bought Funimation, Crunchyroll, Right Stuff. They're just buying up everything. They definitely have a monopoly on anime in the West. So hopefully they can break that up. That way there's more uh, studios out there. Yeah, they bought some from France and Crunchyroll. Um, didn't they also buy some, or maybe they they bought Crunchyroll and they closed down like the offices in like the UK or something. Sony did after they bought them. Yeah, they bought Madman 2 down in Australia. They're working on having a global monopoly, and that's not good with how censorship crazy Sony is. Ever since Sony moved their headquarters to California, it's been all downhill. Square Enix is on pretty hard times too. Apparently, they've lost a lot of money. What was that one? They made that one kind of RPG type game for the West with like the woman like rings on her arms, and it had really cringy dialogue, and it lost a lot of money. And the Avengers game lost a lot of money. I don't think Final Fantasy 16 did as well as they had hoped, and even like Final Fantasy 7, like all the remakes they're doing for that, I don't think that's doing as well as they had hoped it would either. So it's definitely sad to see it, but Crunchyroll might be going out. But they've been placating a lot more to the Western markets, so yeah, that's kind of what they get. It's crazy that Nintendo, the company that used to be incredibly censorship happy, is now like the only bastion of non censorship as far as video games are concerned. But Sony is super censorship happy, and Microsoft with Xbox, they don't even really like have any games anymore. Well, Tomb Raider, I don't think it has been good since like the PlayStation 1. Some people like the 2013 trilogy. The new one looks, I don't know. They had the reboot of like the first trilogy or whatever. I would try to get it, but then they like censor some things and took things out and added them back in or something. I don't know. I've seen some things about the manga industry as well, wanting to placate and cater to the Western market more. We have some people in the manga industry kind of taking a stand and wanting it to stay Japanese, like Ken Akamatsu, the creator of Love Hina, UQ Hoder, Negima. Like he actually became like a politician here in Japan, and he's pushing for manga to stay Japanese. So hopefully he gets more support behind him and has more influence. But the new prime minister of Japan is wanting to make Japan more westernized and bring in like BlackRock and Vanguard and stuff, bring more companies and influence from the West into Japan. So that's disappointing. Well, I see a lot of mangaka just going out on their own now. Like Patreon, Subscribestar, Fanbox. It's all been kind of a blessing, but it's also kind of a curse. But yeah, a lot of mangaka and H-mangaka are going out on their own to like publish on their own, just do independent stuff. Yeah, what is it? Shonen Jump itself might actually be in trouble soon because One Piece is working on ending, My Hero's working on ending, Marshall already ended. They have Sakamoto Days, they have Yosakura Family. What is it? Shonen Jump is really lacking on like hit titles at the moment. They need to work on. Jump is wanting like Demon Slayer ever since Demon Slayer took off for Jump. They're expecting everything to do like Demon Slayer numbers, and that's just not possible for them to do Demon Slayer numbers. And they wanted a series to kick off and become super popular fast. So a lot of the series that Jump's been bringing on and starting up, they've been canceling them before they get a chance to take legs. Like One Piece, it took until like volume 10 to get popular and like get good in the story, and One Piece would be canceled like today before it got popular. Kagurabachi only got popular because it's a meme. People was memeing on that series so hard. I'm amazed it hasn't got canceled yet because I see so many people memeing on it. Yeah, the creator of Tokyo Revengers has a new series in Jump. That was very strange for him to make the transition to Jump. I don't know how well he's going to do, honestly. Because Tokyo Revengers, it ended so bad that it left a sour taste in everyone's mouth. Yeah, I haven't looked at the numbers for Kagurabachi, but definitely what made it popular was just everyone memeing on it for some reason. It was very strange that everyone memed on it so hard. They had the new Jump issue out at the Lawsons and 7-Eleven I went to recently. I thought about picking it up. It looked like it had a new one shot on the cover. It looked like it was maybe like a wizard or fantasy type manga on the cover. I didn't recognize it, so maybe it's like a new one shot that's coming out. Yeah, 200K is pretty good, especially by today's standards. It's actually really good. Boruto is doing pretty bad in numbers right now, but hopefully it picks up again. I can't read that. There's something in the way. Yeah, it wasn't a group cover on this one. The one that I saw recently, It looked like a new series. I didn't recognize any of the characters on the cover. I'm a little sad that Black Clover went to Giga Jump, so now we only get it like quarterly. Because out of like the current batch of like Shonen Jump series, Black Clover is my favorite. I like it the most. Chainsaw Man is another one that fell off pretty hard. I don't see anyone talking about Chainsaw Man, like part 2 of Chainsaw Man. People talked about it for like the first few chapters, but I haven't seen anyone really mentioning Chainsaw Man since it came back and has been going on. Hopefully My Hero ends soon, though. I want to go back and reread it from the beginning. I've been holding off on reading it. Basically, after the Stars and Stripes ordeal and the Midnight ordeal, I kind of stopped reading. I stopped reading My Hero, and I haven't kept up with it too much. I've just been waiting for it to end. That way, I could go and reread it from the very beginning to see if I like it. But for me, My Hero is one of those that it was okay. Season 1 was pretty good. I liked it quite a bit. It was definitely the peak. Season 2 was okay. Then Season 3, the first half was really good, and then it fell off. I don't know if Black Clover got screwed over. It's actually kind of good, especially since he was having health issues. It's good that it went to quarterly. I wish it would have just went to monthly instead, but as long as it goes on long enough and doesn't get rushed, and as long as his health holds out, I'm fine with it being quarterly, even though it's going to hurt its popularity quite a bit, only having 4 chapters a year. Yeah, for My Hero, after the All Might and All for One fight, that was kind of the peak for me of the series, and everything after that has not been as good. I think Horikoshi definitely wrote out All Might and him having his powers way too early in the series, for sure. I wouldn't say I'm into any new manga. None that I've found during the trip this time. The most recent newish manga that I've been reading, and I say reading lightly, is Megami no Cafe Terrace. What's some more? Kanojo Mo Kanojo. I think there's probably like a couple more, but they're not very new. They're at least like 2 or 3 years old at this point. But I like those. Of course, Rent a Girlfriend. I love that series. I'd love to catch up on that manga if I ever got the chance. I'm going to try to buy some of it while I'm here this time. Yeah, the author of Gintama, he's probably enjoying retirement. Because Gintama, it had a very strange release schedule there at the end. It was kind of like they're doing with Hunter x Hunter, where it had its like own magazine or something, and it was released on its own out to the side until it got finished. Which Hunter x Hunter, we might actually get some chapters for it, maybe by the end of the year, beginning of next year. I seen that Togashi's actually working on Hunter x Hunter again. Yeah, Gintama had its like own app or something. It was released just by itself. I did actually go and watch the Gintama, the final movie or whatever it was called, in theater. It was okay. Oh, If we got 10 chapters every 2 years, that would be fine, but sometimes he takes longer than that between breaks. I'd be fine if he did like one volume a year. The last I saw, it's like he was talking about having to crap standing up in the toilet, like use the restroom in the shower. He couldn't like sit down on the toilet to use the restroom. He would have to like use the restroom in the shower because he wasn't able to like sit because of his back. So maybe he has like really bad degenerate joint disease or something in his back. I'm not really sure exactly what his medical problems are. I just know it has to do with his back. I wish he would get someone else to draw it for him at this point. Like, but he is super stubborn. He wants to draw everything himself, outside of his wife helping him out some with manga. But I wish he had like more assistance and he had like a studio behind him and he could just be the idea guy. He would just write out the story and have someone else draw it. Yeah, Hunter x Hunter. I heard that it was going to be published like in its own magazine. Maybe something like the One Piece magazine, where they just release it every so often. But as inconsistent as Hunter x Hunter is published, they can't really do a magazine or anything. He really needs to let someone else focus on the art. Tagashi's not going to get any better. Um, I believe he's approaching 60. He might be in his like early 60s by now. But yeah, he's not going to get better at this point. It's been too long that he's had these problems, and I don't see him coming back. It would be nice if he let someone else do the art, though. That way we could hopefully get an ending, because this final arc, hopefully it's the final arc anyway, the Dark Continent arc, it would be such a long arc for him to like have a proper payoff and a proper ending that I don't see him living long enough to finish off the Hunter x Hunter manga before he dies or gets too old to draw. At the speed he's going, he's never going to be able to finish it himself. Yeah, it might end up being Jump Plus, but I thought it was going to be like its own thing. Yeah, Dark Continent, if he's going to be drawing it himself, he's never going to finish it. Um, Honestly, I don't even know if we're going to make it to the Dark Continent before he dies, if he's drawing it all himself and doesn't want anyone else to draw it. Yeah, the successor arc, I would love to see that finished. That would probably be a decent ending, because it's going to finish off with the spiders, and Karapika, it's going to finish his arc, I think. So I don't even know who would be the one that would be like the main character of the Dark Continent, unless you bring back Gon and get him to the Dark Continent somehow. Yeah, we'll just have to see like when the new chapters eventually come out, if they do. We'll have to see how his health holds out and if he can draw like another 8 chapters or so. It's almost like Kubo with Bleach at this point. I don't know where Bleach would be published if it ever comes back for like the Hell arc. I hope he ends up drawing the Hell arc. I would love to see us get something with it. Yeah, I remember when Togashi first came to Twitter and everyone didn't know if it really was him. And then the Yusuke Murata, the creator of well, the artist of One Punch Man, he was like, no, this is actually Togashi, and it's like instantly he had like 2 million followers. Hunter x Hunter is one of those series that's deeply loved, for sure. Kubo doesn't look anything like he used to look. If you see Kubo whenever Bleach was in its prime, um, he used to have like colored hair, like dirty, like brown looking hair. He used to wear sunglasses. He used to be kind of built, kind of muscular. And whenever we saw Kubo again recently, like after Bleach had, the manga had ended, he just looked like your standard like Japanese businessman with like a regular Japanese haircut, black hair. He didn't look anything like he used to look. He had really bad shoulder problems from leaning on his shoulder whenever he drew for so many years, and he finally got over that. And even Kubo's style is different now. After he took all that time off, if you look at like Burn the Witch and the Breath from Hell, like the Bleach one shot, one off, the teaser of like the Hell arc, his style has changed quite a bit from what it used to look like. Yeah, I don't even remember Master of Martial Arts. Um, it's only like 5 episodes. I don't think I would ever go back and rewatch it. I don't rewatch anime that often, but yeah. Yeah, I think the system for like weekly manga, I could see it being maybe like restructured and like over uh taken out. I'd like to see it go to like bi-weekly for manga where it has where Jump would have like they would alternate every 2 weeks, like new chapters for series. They'd have a batch of manga come out one week, then another batch come out the next week, and then the third week would be like the manga from the first week. I would like to see something like that, where we could still get bi-weekly manga releases, but I think the weekly 15 to 20 pages is way too much, and we're not going to see like a modern day manga could be able to physically hold up to that anymore. Though things have gotten easier since a lot of manga have transitioned to doing digital artwork, and they like for backgrounds. A lot of the times they just scan real life photos and trace those now instead of drawing it all themselves. So it has helped on the workload a little bit, made it a little easier. Oh, I have a lot of thoughts on the Bleach Thousand Year Blood War. Aesthetically, I don't like the way it looks. Um, I don't like the way it's colored. I don't like the shading at all. The red sky. I don't like how they really moved most to all of the fan service scenes and the comedy scenes. They removed a lot of content from the Thousand Year Blood War manga whenever they took it into the anime version. They added finally at the end of season two or core two. They're doing it in cores. We finally got a little bit more with Squad Zero, but even that, well, yeah, Squad Zero and the first Gotei 13, we got some backstory for them. But even that, I don't think it was enough of a payoff for all of the content they ended up removing. Plus, it might actually, as far as right now, is looking like Can't Fear Your Own World isn't going to be canon anymore. Originally, Can't Fear Your Own World, like the 3 novels, they was canon, but it's seeming like possibly with the changes they're making to the anime that it may not be canon anymore. So, yeah. Yeah, Kubo looks a lot better now. He just looks almost like a different person. Studio Piero, they're not doing a name change. they're making another studio to just focus on Bleach and to produce higher quality anime, which, yeah, they definitely need to. With the Thousand Year Blood War, um, there was a lot of the times when the characters were like very off model. If you like look at the eyes and the facial structures, outside of like the key scenes, there was a lot of the times where the characters didn't look like they was Bleach characters. Like there's a lot of the line work and the coloring I don't like in Thousand Year Blood War. Yeah, they're gonna try to do like Mappa, I guess, which it's fine, I guess, but for me, animation isn't the be all and end all. Great animation doesn't make an anime great for me. I believe that Demon Slayer set an unreasonable standard, and everyone's just been trying to follow in Demon Slayer's footsteps as far as like being visually pleasing. Yeah, I don't like how they removed the fan service and a lot of the gag scenes. They removed almost all of those, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, they removed quite a bit of content. We got a little bit of new content for the Thousand Year Blood War. We got a little bit more with the Bambis. The little very fast flashback with the original Gotei 13, and a little bit more with Squad Zero, and that's really all the new content. But they removed quite a bit of content from the Thousand Year Blood War, which is disappointing because with Thousand Year Blood War, everyone already agreed that basically like the first third to one half of Thousand Year Blood War was fine as it was in the manga version. It wasn't until like the second half of Thousand Year Blood War where it got rushed and we wanted more content. So hopefully in Core 3 and 4 we get a lot of new content because at the speed they're going. Um, if they were to continue at the speed they're going, Core 3 would basically finish off Thousand Year Blood War. That's all the content they would have. Because they really shouldn't have had Rukia's fight be one episode, and definitely Kenpachi and Grimmy's fight should not have been one episode. They've crunched down like 8 or 9 chapters into one episode, and that was just way too much. I could see Soul Eater possibly getting a reanimation. I would love it if it did. Um, they could fit it down into mm, how long would it be? They might be able to do it in. No, I'd probably take 4 cours to do the full Soul Eater manga, like at a good pace. They could rush it and do it in 3 cours for Soul Eater, but if they reanimated Soul Eater, it'd be nice if it would get like 4 cours. They're redoing Spice and Wolf, and I never thought I would see them do that. And the first Soul Eater anime came out around that time, so Soul Eater might actually get a remake coming in the future. Maybe part of this Soul Eater 20th anniversary thing that's coming up in Japan later this year. Maybe it's going to be the kickoff to like um, gauge how popular it still is and if they want to reanimate it. I don't see Zatch Bell getting a remake, unfortunately. Zatch Bell, it's too much of a product of its time. Like I've said that Marshall really reminds me of like Zatch Bell. Marshall's kind of like a modern day Zatch Bell with the way it looks to me. With Marshall kind of feeling like early 2000s anime, with like how gag centric it is and the way it looks aesthetically. But yeah, I don't think Zatch Bell would work too well if it came out like today. I've never seen Pandora Hearts. It's 20 volumes, isn't the manga like 20 volumes? Um, I've heard of it. It used to be in Yin Plus magazine. But I never, it was one of those I never got into. Because back then, like Yen Press manga was like 12, $13, and your Jump manga was like 7.99, and eventually they had to jump to 9.99. So buying Jump manga was a lot cheaper. So that's mostly what I bought back in the day. So I never got much into Pandora Hearts or Soul Eater, Black God, Kurokami, and stuff like that. Kenichi's never gonna get published in the West. Um, we can wrap that up. The only one that would maybe bring it over, and I don't even see them doing it, is like Seven Seas, because they eventually brought over Tola Brew, and I never thought Tola Brew would get published um, in the West, but Seven Seas finally brought it over. But 61 volumes is way too much. Speaking of Kenichi, I finally finished my Kenichi set during this trip. I was finally able to get my hands on volume 61, so I am happy about that. Yeah. Kenichi, it's one of those like it ended it could have like lasted like 80 to 100 volumes to with as slow as Kenichi, like as slow as the story progresses and the like power scaling, because even by the end of Kenichi was still far weaker than like his masters and stuff. So yeah, still fairly popular here. Let's see here. Where was I? I can't believe Bones is still around. Bones is one of those like studios that like they don't have really any hits in modern day that I can think of, so it's a little surprising that they're still around, but I guess they're still kicking. Cuz didn't they do wasn't Bones the one that did like Dark and the Black and stuff? Honestly, I could see like Viz possibly going out of business because I think a lot of the Japanese publishers in the coming years are going to start localizing the manga themselves and cutting out the middlemen because we don't really have a reason to have Funimation or Viz or anything anymore. They can do it all in house here in Japan since everything's online now. I don't know if I would trust my anime list. I don't go there much. Wow, that's surprising with the Shonen Sunday. What's even going on in Sunday right now? There's Agent 008, which is Hyun Matsuana's new manga that's been going on, but I think it's ending, or maybe it did end recently. I think the creator of Kenichi's Hyun Matsuana, I think he just wanted to. I really think he was bored of Kenichi at that time. Like he's did like 3 or 4 series since then that have been pretty long. So I think he was just over Kenichi at that point and just wanted to end it. And so it probably wasn't a big deal for him that the magazine would want him to end it. Yeah, it has Conan, but Conan doesn't come out all the time. I wonder if like the free run manga is like kicked off since the anime did so well because I don't remember anyone ever even mentioning the free run manga, but the anime kicked off and is like super popular. It was definitely my favorite anime of like last season. Free run was. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed Conan a lot too, but mm, it seems like it might be slowly getting towards its end with like the Black Organization. I don't know. I think One Piece has kicked off pretty well too. One Piece kind of fell off for a while, but with the Egghead Island arc, I think it's like boosted it up because it's been so good. I think it's kicked off some. Plus, the anime for One Piece is doing a lot better now. They're actually putting care into the anime and making it look good, whereas pre Wano and even some parts of Wano look pretty bad. Yeah, Blue Lock was really popular. I never got into it. It's a soccer series. Yeah. Not a big fan of soccer, but I did kind of want to check out the anime for it. Yeah, you see quite a bit of Blue Lock merchandise here. Yeah, that was so amazing to me that One Piece has been going on so long that the anime is getting a reboot. That is so funny to me. And Wit is doing it of all studios, so it's gonna look really good. Though honestly, I would love if Toei would actually put some money behind it and would have just remade it themselves, like all in like the Wano style and the Egghead Island style. That would have been really good if they went back from the beginning. But I think Wit's gonna do a pretty good job of it. But how long is it going to take? I hope they're not going to cut out too much. They can remove all the filler, have it more streamlined, but it's still going to take so long for the anime to catch up unless they cut out a lot of content from the manga whenever they readapt the anime. It's like the second time it's basically getting readapted because Toei also did like they had the movies and the TV specials that would uh, they had the TV specials that was recapping like all of the arcs, like East Blue, Alabasta, Skypiea. They was redoing those, so I don't know if they're going to continue on with those. Do a backflip for your wife. I don't backflip anymore. I got hurt too many times on trampolines. Plus, I don't have a wife, just lots of girlfriends. I don't know. I don't know if it was because of the live action. I hate the live action, honestly. I don't understand why so many people are saying that it's a good adaptation because the One Piece live action Netflix, it is objectively a horrible adaptation. You can still like it, but as far as being an adaptation, it's bad. It's a very bad adaptation. Yeah, that's another thing that's a little concerning for me with the One Piece anime reboot. If it's slowly on Netflix, it might get stuck in Netflix hell and never get like a physical release, which would end up hurting it in the long run. Yeah, it's the One Piece live action. It's that special type of corny. It's got that special type of cheese with it. Um, Whereas you can like it for it being a live action. If you look at it as itself, it's not horrible. But if you look at it from a an adaptation standpoint, it's actually pretty bad. Uh, Body count, I don't know, quite a few. I've hooked up quite a few times during this trip, and a lot last trip. I don't see the live action lasting too long though. Season two will probably be. It might go up through Skypiea, but they might actually cut Skypiea. Like East Blue was easier to adapt, but as they get later in the One Piece story, it's going to get much more expensive to adapt into live action. Yeah, I also saw that they're from NC Hammer, whatever his name is. He's like the Naruto YouTuber. I watch his videos pretty often. and Hollywood's doing the live action Naruto movie from Lionsgate. And Lionsgate is one of those low budget studios. Sometimes they have decent stuff, but they don't have enough money to put into projects to do them properly. So I'm pretty sure the one Naruto live action movie is going to be pretty bad, honestly. I don't have much faith in it. Though apparently the guy that's writing it is working with Kishimoto directly, but that doesn't mean anything, honestly. Because allegedly they worked with Oda very closely with the One Piece live action. But honestly, I don't think he was that involved as much as they think it was, or as much as they promoted that he was involved. Because think about it logically. Um, when the One Piece live action was getting made, you had the One Piece Odyssey video game, the One Piece anime entering the Wano arc and part of the Wano arc. You had One Piece Film Red, you had all the promotional stuff, and the One Piece manga all going on. And Oda was involved in all of that. Oda's involved with like everything. Yeah, the My Hero one, honestly, that might actually be one of the better live actions. Um, they might be able to do that decently. Depends on how much money they have to put into it. Attack on Titan, that's probably going to be garbage. I don't see them having enough money to do that properly. Yeah, I don't have any faith in the Death Note live action. I don't have any faith in that one either, which you would think that would be one of the easiest ones for them to adapt into live action in the West, because the Japanese live actions are for Death Note are pretty good. But for some reason, the West is just horrible at sticking to source material, which it works in the comics fine. Like with DC and Marvel comics, it's really good that they don't have the movies follow the comics directly because the comics aren't as good as the films, honestly, and especially the stories are so spread out over multiple series, and uh, it's very hard to adapt. So it's good that they take liberties with comics for live action, but as far as like anime and manga, where it's just a continuous story from start to end, no branching off really. Um, for some reason, Hollywood has a hard time doing that. Yeah, the first live action Death Note was horrible. Very, very not good. Like there needs to be a case study on that, like live action Death Note, for how bad they was able to mess that up. It was probably even worse than the Avatar live action, Avatar: The Last Airbender that M Night Shyamalan did. It was possibly even worse than that. That's how bad it was. Well, that's because Netflix doesn't have anything else. Stranger Things isn't going to be going on much longer, so they don't really have anything else. And a lot of Western studios, Netflix and Hollywood in general, they're trying to branch out into anime because anime is really hot right now. So they're trying to finally get all these live actions that have been in what is it? That have been in production hell for years. They're going to try to cash in on those because if you look at whenever they bought the rights to like My Hero and Naruto and stuff, like when the studios bought the rights to do those live actions, it was years ago. They just haven't been doing anything with them. Yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution, it's just bad. It's not even one of those that are so bad that it's good. Like there are some live actions. The Street Fighter live action with John Claude Van Damme. Um, that's an adaptation that is so bad that it's good, and I love that Street Fighter movie. But Dragon Ball Evolution, it wasn't even so bad that it's good. It was just bad. Yeah, it probably got scrapped. Promise Neverland, like it was really popular, especially after season one. And season 2 flopped and kind of killed off the anime. And then the manga ending was really bad too. So they probably got cold feet on doing a live action for Promised Neverland. Even if they did a live action, it would probably just be season 1, just live action version. Yeah, it probably got scrapped. Oh, yeah, I have no idea how to fix that. Sometimes it freezes. I'm probably going to get off here anyway. It's like 7:41. Gonna either possibly go out and get some dinner, or I might just go to sleep, and hopefully it's sunny the rest of my trip. But yeah, thanks everyone for checking in, and I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here and decide what I'm gonna do the rest of the night. We'll see you.